Well, welcome everyone to the Become an Author podcast. I am your host, Jessie Bowen, and I am excited about being here today. We have a great podcast that we're going to be doing today. And, I come from the publishing part. I'm always excited about writing a book, and I've done over 60 books, international best-selling author. I'm a corporate educator, and I've written so many books. I've actually started my own publishing company. Why keep it to yourself? Why not share that with someone else? And that's what we're doing. We're making the world a better place by helping people to tell their stories, get their message out there, and be empowered. And today we are honored to be featuring a best-selling contributing author and martial arts instructor, John Kraft. John is an author of the powerful new book, Ancient Wisdom for the Modern Woman, a work that bridges timeless martial arts philosophies and the challenges and opportunity that face women in today's world. In this episode, we're going to be exploring what inspired John to write this book, how ancient principles can empower modern leaders, and why becoming an author is one of the most powerful steps to, for thought leaders that they can take. Hey, John. Hey, welcome.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, well, we're East Coast and West Coast. I can tell you what's happening. You're out in Seattle. I'm in North Carolina. So,
right.
We have this 3-hour time gap.
That's
but,
right.
welcome. And, I want to start off by saying that I am very proud of you.
Thank you.
You're one of those people that we've been taking baby steps with, mentoring. You're featured in our Who's Who in the Martial Arts autobiography books, and you've written in our compilation books, and now that hey, we're just a couple of steps away from you making your great big debut of your book, and which is really awesome. And to everyone today, what we're going to be doing, we're doing our cover reveal. So we a couple of weeks ago we put out there for people to help us make a decision. What would be the best cover in your opinion? So we're getting ready to show that. I generally have a drum roll or something up here that I use, but I just go dun 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 dun. Here we go. Is that Woody Woodpecker? I don't know. Bam! Here we go, John. Yay!
That. Boy. Yeah, the band and the crowd is going. Yay! So I tell you, sir, the artwork that you guys have done over there at Elite Publications for this book cover are fantastic, and my friends and my family are so pleased and so proud of it. I think that it's very attractive, and that when it hits the bookshelves or wherever it's going to be, people are going to look at it and go, what's that about? That looks pretty interesting. So good job over there to you guys.
Well, thank you, John. Really, we have a lot to work with. We have a creative staff that if you can put it in words, we can actually put it into a graphic for you. And again, Crystal, she does a phenomenal job of our custom graphic work. But I think that really, the thought, and I know that, and that's what we're going to talk about, because there's so many people that think, well, I cannot do that. Your book's going to be out in hardcover, soft cover, Kindle. We're hoping it's going to be on audiobook. So many ways for people to get to this here, the message. And we're getting ready to talk in a moment about what that message is. So if you're out there and you're following us, hang on. We're going to get to the big stuff. Again, we're here with Sifu John Kraft, a martial artist. But remember, Elite Publications is not just a book, publishing company for martial artists. Anyone that has a book idea that want to get started, then you can go to our website, www.elitepublications.org. schedule an author support coaching session, and we can help you not just write your book, not just publish your book, but that's important. But the biggest step you have is how to get people to read your book. That is the problem, because the most authors, they sell 25 to 30 books, and that's the end of the life of their book. That's a very short period of time. And we want to help you work beyond that. So again, everyone, this is the cover launch, for John Kraft. And again, we know that this is going to become an international bestseller book. John's put a lot of info in there. We got a lot of marketing strategies we've got set up for him. This is going to be on our Roku TV. We got book signings already scheduled. So we just got a lot of things going on to ensure that not only is he an author, but that he's an international best-selling author. So those are some of the things that we are going to focus on. So I'm going to flash this back up a little bit later too. But again, this is the cover that we chose. And all the people that were in the process of helping us vote on a cover, we thank you. Your insights are important because you are the audience, you are the buying audience out there. So again, we want to thank you. Now, the book will be out next week, but you can pre-order a copy of the book by going to John's website. You see that up there, www.johncraftauthor.com. That's johncraftauthor.com. You can go there and you can be the first person to sign up. If you go to John's website, this week, and what he'll do once you order your book, he's going to send you a signed copy of the book. So, I know John, he always looks pretty cool. So, I know he's going to be one of our famous authors. So you want to be able to get that first book that released by, John Kraft. So remember, go get your copy today. So let's get to the meat of it. So what inspired you to choose this topic to write on? So where did that come from?
Well, sir, it's a bit of a long story. It took 70 years to get there. And I know we don't have time to go into that, but before we get started, so something you mentioned, that writers or people that want to get their ideas, their opinions out there, because that's really what an author is they're giving their advice or their opinion on how they see things. And I would like to encourage everybody to do that, because everybody has an opinion, and I think people are pretty intelligent. And everybody has something to offer. And so I think that as we share as a community in the world, we're going to get better and better together. And so as we learn and grow together in the world community, then that becomes a pretty huge thing to get our opinions out there, because then everybody gets to look at it from a worldview community and say, oh, that's good or not. And so it's important. And so I'd like to encourage other people in what they're doing today, in their home, in their life, at their job, whatever, to keep doing what they're doing and believe in themselves. So go do it. Don't let things, the obstacles and distractions, don't let those stop you from achieving your goals.
Wait, and what I always say is that everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. And I know we were talking before, and I know when we started talking about this, you were asked by, I think, some tribal people about doing a seminar. And, you were, trying to not just do a seminar, you wanted to bring something unique to them. And in your study work, this sort of came together. And that's how I write. Whatever I'm doing is what I've written on. I've got now 60 books, but it only represents 60 things that I was doing which it was just as easy for me to, if I got to plan or write notes behind it, then that's a great way for me to start that process of being able to write and take that information, put it into a book. So when I come back to use it again, I can use that. So I want to share that experience of the motivation that put you on this path.
Well, so I've had a few run-ins with abuse when I was a child, mainly just like neglect or being bullied, or having step parents that were out to get me. I think a lot of people can relate to that one. Anyway, I got into martial arts because I had to. At an early age, I was told you're gonna sign up for the boxing and this and that. So I had to do it. I'm the little kid that got the bloody nose and the tears. I cried. Well, anyway, so years later, I just, stayed in it and stuff like that. So I became pretty good at fighting. Well, anyway, fast forward. I've had a martial arts school before, and I've taught men, women, and children, and I kind of understand the questions that come with the territory. So I was approached by a local Native American tribe, and they asked me to teach a seminar for their women. Well, okay, that's easy enough to do. You go in there and you show them, a couple simple things, and they're like, everybody's happy. They got to work out, things like that. But they said these women are in active interpersonal violent situations in their home where there's abuse going on, that's physical battering. Well, that's a whole different can of worms. And I told the lady at the tribe that wanted me to come teach that I would need to research that, because I did not know enough about it, and I wanted to be prepared, because I felt that teaching somebody how to do something and they're not going to be very good at it at first could possibly get them into more trouble than it could be of help. And so I didn't want to do the lessons at the time until I prepared myself. So this book is actually a product of learning what it is that these women are going through and how they can recognize where they're at in their situation, in their home, or whatever's going on in their relationship. And it gives them, first of all, the ability to see what they're experiencing from maybe a third party through this character in the book, Lucy, and her friends, Leona, and their tribal community and how they interact with each other. And so this book is a product of me being approached by a Native American tribe that needed help with abuse.
Well, and that's, and that's what we're really talking about. So, in the book, so it is sort of so everyone, so when you're looking at the book, it's not teach me how to do a punch or teach me how to do a block. It's really a storyline that goes into someone in this situation and how that they are making this connection. So I find that it's really an empowerment book. So not just a book, but yes, it's an empowerment book to influence. My daughter looked at it and she really liked the book because she's a black belt, but it also gave her some insight. So even in this story, that's what makes it powerful, is that you're learning what someone else is going through and how they now overcome that. But it's about the wisdom and the knowledge, of bringing these, using these ancient principles in today's modern times, how to be able to do that. So, I think that's what the uniqueness of, the book is that you have you brought together something that's not out there in this particular fashion, but it's brought out there because someone sought you out to be able to teach something. And that's the key. You can always fake it until you make it, but instead of trying to fake it until you make it, you went out to do the research behind that to find out how can you do not just a job, but how can you do an excellent job. And the results from that working actually becomes into this book. And so
yes,
now,
yes, and it took me about it. Yes, sir.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the research part of it took me about 1.5 to 2 years, but I've been studying this type of thing for a long, long time. It was really a huge learning curve. And when I realized towards the end of the book that all abuse at all levels, in the home, in the community, all the way up to the top, all the way from the bottom to the top, all abuse kind of works the same way. And there's things that we can see that people do in those types of a situation where one of the questions that you asked me to look at had to do with compassion and power. And this book is based on those two things because there's two worlds in this book. They're opposite. One is based on compassion, kindness, being able to help each other to succeed. And that community, which is a tribal community, they succeed very well because they're compassionate, they care for each other, and you can see it everywhere. It's all over, and that's why they're successful. Compassion, which is like kindness. So they're kind to each other, they're kind to themselves. They don't beat themselves up internally. They're empowered. So on the flip side of that is power. And that's, to me, is kind of like we look at power and we go, empowerment. Who has the power? Who's empowered? So leaning towards manipulators who are trying to, gain control over other people through not cool ways of doing it. So they're trying to empower themselves, and they're also trying to belittle the other person and take power away from that person. So really, this book gets down to the basics of compassion, because kind people are easy targets and they're trusting and they let other people in. But manipulators and people that are abusive are not kind people. And so they're looking for other things. What can I get? What can I take? How can I exploit this person? And so really the basis of the book shifts. It kind of starts out where, they're living a nice, happy little life in their tribe. And then this bad guy comes along to manipulate everything, and he does a good job of it. But they eventually overcome this guy. And so they take back the power that they had to begin with. And so it's really a book about empowerment. It's mainly written to women, and from their perspective, from a man's point of view, with a lot of advice from women. My family, believe me, they've chimed in to tell me where I'm a little off, to, redirect me back into the center of the road. Anyway, I'll stop there and let you continue.
So again, how has your martial arts training influenced the principles shared in this book?
Probably for the listeners and anybody who reads this, I would say mindset is the thing that we need, and that's what we gain from martial arts. Hopefully that we have a good mindset. When I talk about mindset and martial arts, I mean, are we willing to protect ourselves? Or do we think we're worth something? Am I valuable to myself? Am I willing to protect myself? Do I have the mindset, or do I have whatever that is inside of our thought life that says I'm worth enough that I will stand up for myself because I am valuable? Yeah.
Well,
So martial arts gives that to a person, or it should.
And everyone, again, we're here today with John Kraft, a author, and he's already a international best-selling contributing author. And we're now, we're excited about his book, which is now a bestseller. And here it is here. Well, it's not a bestseller yet. We know it's going to be a bestseller, but we've just doing the cover reveal today, so you can get a chance to see. We've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks. And again, we want to really thank everyone that participated in helping us to be able to choose a cover here. Again, this is John Kraft. He's a martial artist, best-selling author. And so he's been writing in these compilation books that we've been doing. He's also a author in our Who's Who in the Martial Arts books. And so you've been taking a lot of baby steps to be able to get here now to your own book. And that's why I said by the time a person has written 3 books, they're ready now to step up to this next level. And you have written in our Elite Martial Arts compilation books and written a chapter. So that's an easy way. You don't have to just jump out and write a book. So at Elite Publications, we have a lot of easy ways for you to get started, and that is to write with others. And I know, John, you're part of the new book we just released a few weeks ago with Cynthia Rothrock and Mike Stone and all the great legends of the martial arts, and that is the Elite Martial Artist from White Belt to Wisdom. So the chapter of 2,000 words is pretty easy to do. You build your confidence up, you see the steps, the process, and now you're here. You're at your own book and now launching your book. And I know that, we've already talked about, you've already, made plans for your next debut. So everyone, we want you to go to his website and pre-order a copy of the book. And you can go to John Kraft, author.com. That's John Kraft, author.com. Order your copy of the book today. And so when you order it, John's going to sign the book. Again, it doesn't formally release until next week, and it'll be released on Amazon. It'll be available on the other platforms such as, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million. So the book's going to be out there and be available for you. So we want you to go and check out the book, check out this new author. And remember, everybody's got a story. Everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. And you can also go to our website, and which is www.elitepublications.org. And you can actually go there and we can help you with your book project, next book project that you may have coming up. So, John, so as we, think about your book and we come back and we look at it, how did the publishing process shape you personally?
A huge learning curve. Right. Yeah, it was a huge learning curve, and it's worth it. So let me put that in there. If anybody's thinking about doing it, do it. There's so much to gain. All the knowledge that you're going to gain on the road, trying to get the information you need to put in your book, go do it. So what's stopping you but yourself?
Well, again, you did a really great job, and for this process, and again, it is a process, and I get with people, and they're sort of looking at everything from the old school way of writing and bringing things together, and we try to bring those tools in there. But again, really, because you've written in the Who's Who books and the Elite martial artist books, it was, and again, I commend you. You did a great job, and with the writing of your book, the layout of the book. It's a book that I definitely would recommend that everyone pick up a copy, read this book, especially for empowerment for women. Coming from a martial arts perspective. So I think this is a very, very, very powerful book. Again, this is John Kraft. Remember, go to his website and check out a copy of the book.
I agree.
And get your copy. Any final words as we get to wrap up, sir? Any final words?
Well, I'd like to. So yes, two things. Two things. I'm trying to get my website put together, webpage. So it's going to have a newsletter on there. And I'm going to start out with a quarterly newsletter with just little tidbits of information that might be helpful to people. Everything is geared towards empowerment for the reader and things they can apply in their lives at home, on the daily, at work. What I'd like to add is one of the questions you asked me about. I think it was something to do with a 5-minute. Yeah, well, I can't find it in my notes. But anyway, so what I remember is in my book, I have a breakdown of what our likes and dislikes are and how they apply to our daily life. And so I'd like to say to people that what I learned when I was writing this book is that our likes define us. If a woman likes a cat, that is who she is. That is a part of her personal makeup. Maybe some other people don't like cats. Well, that's okay. They can like what they want to because that's who they are. But it's not up to one person to tell another person you can't like what you like. And so I encourage people, just like I learned, that I am what I like. And so I've learned who I am based on the things that I like and dislike. And that is it's an emotional thing. And so it's our emotions telling us, well, this feels good to me. I like it when I have a cat on my lap and I love the cat and I pet the cat, things like that. So it's not okay for somebody else to tell that person, you can't like that cat and you can't have that cat, because they're trying to steal that person's identity when they do things like that. So I think the thought of this whole thing that I'd like to say is that we can tell what's going on in our life if we live in the now. So whatever's going on right now in our home life, maybe something happened today in our home life where it wasn't cool and we feel it and the air gets thick. Maybe there was an argument and we feel that the air has changed and it's thick and everybody is uncomfortable. And so we don't like that. That is our emotional system, a very primitive thing that we all have to protect us, that is telling us something is wrong in the now. And so when we learn to trust ourselves and believe in ourselves and say, wow, this isn't cool, what's going on? That's really the first step in how to recognize whether or not we should be in the situation that we're in, which is a whole nother huge topic. But I don't put down anyone that is living in an abusive situation. I've been there myself. It's not easy to be there. It's not easy to get out of it. And so the last chapter in my book addresses it this way. not why don't you leave, but why did you stay? And so that's really the question. We're also tied up in our life. Walking away from abuse is not easy because we're also walking away from our life. And that's kind of the gist of it.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's what makes this book really powerful is that, it takes a whole different approach, a lot of times to articulate what we're thinking, what we're feeling, because we can be thinking one way. And so your book actually is able to bring out, several ways for you to think about something, for you to be able to look at your relationships or look at your life, and that you can have that opportunity to be able to make a difference. And again, everyone, we want to show the cover of the book. So the book we're scheduling for to be coming out on Monday is our plan. You can go to Amazon and get it. The Kindle book, ebook will be available. But remember, you can go to his website right now and get your copy of the book. And John's going to sign that for you. And the website is www.johnkraftauthor.com. And again, sir, congratulations on taking this huge step. At Elite Publications, we are proud of you and what you're doing. And everyone, if you're looking to write a book to get your story out and find the easy button, then reach out to Elite Publications. That's www.elitepublications.org, and let us set up a free author support session and help you to understand the process of not just writing a book, but how do I get people to read a book? And that's why we know that, John's book, it will be on the international bestseller list because it's such a great book and the things that we're going to do to support that. So you can start supporting John's book today by, again, clicking on the link and going to www.johnkraftauthor.com and pre-order your copy of the book. And again, that book's going to be signed and it's going to be sent to you by John. Well, sir, again, thank you for being on our program. Thank you for trusting us, and look forward to many more opportunities in your writing career.
Yes.